end of the road, but I gotta talk about these tech choices because these are gonna be something important to look at for the TCG. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. So this is your wrap up for the OCG. October 1st starts their new list. We get the chance to see a brand new meta on Disking. It's going to be the same stuff. It's going to be Ryzeal, Maliss domination for a while. But this report tabulates 336 tops that were held in Japan, mainland China, Singapore, South Korea, and Vietnam during the 7th to the 23rd. And so this also includes Structure Deck Advent of Blue Eyes, the complete file, Story of White, the Dragolithia, and then Otonari Thunder Giant, Crockhorn, and the Splitting Planarian. Yeah, none of these matter. But anyway, so what is your overall 3-week meta looking like here? Guess what? Ryzeal is the menace. It is the deck that is crushing the competition out here. This deck is the monster in the room that is going to keep you up at night. It's going to, it's hiding under your bed, and it's just going to mollywop you up in the face. You're going to be shocked shitless when the Dreadinator be chasing you down. Actually, I'd almost might consider this Sunderman, actually. And of course, Maliss with an 11.6 representation. I love the fact you went from 117 Ryzeal down to 39 Maliss. Also, of all these Maliss variations, 38 of them are Maliss, and somebody was like, I'm going to play Fiendsmith cards in my Maliss deck. This is cool. Yeah, it was an idea. It was an idea. You did have it. 39 Tempais, 33 Snake Eyes, 21 of which were Fiendsmith, and then 12 Azamina, Fiendsmith, Snake Eyes. There were 13 Yubel variations. That's freaking hilarious, actually. You also had 10 Centurions, but 7 of them were Centurion, 1 Bysteel Centurion, 1 Fiendsmith Centurion, and 1 Horus Centurion. That's a lot of customization options. And then 7 Labyrinth with 1 Fiendsmith. 7 Blue Eyes. Now, I know looking at the Blue Eyes graph, you're going to be like, well, Robbie, it's meta. Sure. Okay. And post meta, when, you wipe out half of this curve, then yes. 7 branded, a lot of grass branded there. 7 Runic, 5 Memento, 4 Magical Musketeer, 4 Ritual Beast, 2 Buster Blade, 2 Fiendsmith, a Fire King, a Flu, an Infernoid, 2 Melodious, 2 Rescue Ace, 2 Salad, 2 Sky Striker, 2 Vanquish Soul. And then your, we're going to play this stuff for fun category. The Atlantean, the Dragon Link, Fiendsmith Raid Raptor, Fiendsmith Scareclaw, Fiendsmith Sprite, Fiendsmith Trickstar, Fiendsmith Toy White Forest, 1 Fiendsmith Unchained, Gimmick Puppet, a Horus Fiendsmith Ryzeal Snake Eye, a Primite Fiendsmith Red Dragon Archfiend, a Tachyon, a Traptrix, and a Yubel Evil King, or Evil Eye. That's cool. That's the kind of stuff that you want it to see. The one-of category will always be important to the game. Now let's get down here into Ryzeal. So the early builds of Ryzeal mostly only ran one of the field spell, which is the negate in the main deck, since it could be searched out by Duo Drive. But some players were running a second copy in the main deck, which you did start to see in a lot of the OCG that we were covering. They were starting to open up to that second copy. So by opening the Ryzeal Crust, you can choose to Exceed Summon Dreadinator first, which is going to be the chaser typically, which gets things going, before going into Duo Drive. And that way, Dreadinator was able to use its effect to protect Ryzeal Duo Drive against Ghost Ogre, and Ryzeal Cross effect would be able to protect against Nibiru. That is actually huge. Being able to see the field spell in a deck that could effectively always search for this is very, very strong. Some players are also running a second copy of Meteorologic Aggregator in the extra deck. By sending Meteorologic Aggregator to special summon EX Ryzeal from the hand, Ryzeal Dreadinator effect will be able to attach the Aggregator as an Exceed material, and then Dreadinator's effect will be able to destroy a card, detach Meteorologic, and also negate, which was really good. And this is also a plausible usage after activating Snake Eyes Ash to add the Pobbler, and then Snake Eyes Pobbler effect is activated from the hand. Dreadinator's effect can be chained to pop, and then you could do the Meteorologic Aggregator cleanup on aisle 9. Pretty good, right? Then there's Evenly Matched, has become a top choice for board breakers for Ryzeal. Evenly Matched effectively wipes the opponent's field by leaving just one card. In the Ryzeal Mirror Match, the opponent would typically keep Ryzeal Dreadnator. Then on main phase 2, send the Meteorologic Aggregator to spell summon Ryzeal from the hand. The Meteorologic effect would then negate the opponent's Dreadnator, and so forth. So this is a sample list of what you were looking at out here from this. 7 Tachyon package, still extremely strong in this deck. Like, this is so good. 2-2 split on these. You do see the 1 copy of the Aggregator. You also do see the Spider that we've been talking about a lot in the Market Watch, which is very, very important. And then, of course, the Solemn Judgments, the Dimensional Barriers, the Red Reboot. Yeah. And, of course, we have another list down here as well. You do see that this list was opting to play Solemn Strikes. The one thing that this deck I feel like has an issue with is if you get Solemn Strike, you just kind of call it a day. You do see we are side decking the secondary Cross as well, which is not the worst. Some utopic options. And then, of course, the Star Seraph being the reveal target in here. You do have alternatives, all right? They're very, very strong. So let's get into Maliss down here. So many players did not have Maliss in their testing gauntlet, and they were largely unprepared for Maliss. That's actually very interesting to see, that this deck kind of came out of nowhere and shook things up. Some players were taken by surprise when they preemptively activated Dimension Shifter in the draw phase, only to find out that they were up against a Maliss opponent. Wow, that's frickin' hilarious. This is Ritual Beast 2.0. Players aren't even ready for this. As Maliss popularity continues to grow in the metagame, many decks such as Ryzeal and Tempai Dragons have stopped running Dimension Shifter in the main deck, running Artifact Lancey in the side also to increase as a tech against Maliss. Many Maliss builds are now running Dominus Impulse in the main deck, as it should also be noted that Dominus Impulse's drawback does affect Maliss, namely the combos to go into Transcode Talker and or Firewall. Alright, well that's interesting. So, this is the build that finished 9-4 and finished 3rd and 4th at the YOT in Singapore. So, you do see we are playing the Allures in here, which, I mean, is fine. The Allure stuff, I know a lot of people kind of looked at and was kind of surprised to see, but okay, I also do see the Ultimate Slayer cleanup down here as well. That's pretty important. Citing the Apollos is hilarious. Instead of main decking it. Hello, double Allure. So it does look like Allure was really getting some love out here. Do see Heavy Storm and so forth. Alright, we got Tempai Dragons to talk about here. So as Ryzeal becomes the deck to beat, some Tempais started cutting Dominus Impulse from the main deck. Ryzeal's built-in monster effects to summon do not create a chain, and thus their special summons from the hand cannot be negated by Dominus Impulse. Against Ryzeal, Dominus Impulse can only negate Ice Ryzeal and Ryzeal Plugin and Ryzeal Hull's second effect. Also, this build finished 8-1. So, in terms of Tempai, I'm not surprised to hear that. Tempai, on its way out of the format, it was... losing Chandra really hurt, but the deck had some pretty interesting things going about it. It's just, I think more the board breaker side of things are probably going to be what we're going to have to do. You also do see we return back to that Heat Wave down here as a strong participant of things. And then, of course, I see, wow, the spell card, the Final Bringer of the End of Times, seeing some play. That's beautiful. Okay. And then Snake Eye down here. The Rise of Ryzeal saw the decline of the Azamina build for Snake Eyes. Players are attacking Droll and Lockbird and Ghost Ogre against Ryzeal, and these techs are effective against Azamina. Mischief of the Gnomes attack against Ryzeal as an option that could be sent to the graveyard by Beatrice, and Mischief of the Gnomes a second effect activating the graveyard by banishing itself. Well, I wish we could do that, but, you know, OCG's no longer doing this either. So, you know, Beatrice, you lost your tech choice. That's hilarious. So, okay, and still doing Fiendsmith combo. So, conclusion. At the end of the OCG format, Ryzeal has completely taken over the metagame. Goodbye Snake Eyes. YOT Singapore, Ryzeal and Snake Eyes were neck and neck as 17-16 made top 16, but Snake Eyes quickly fell off, leaving 6 Ryzeal and only 1 Snake Eyes in top cut, with 15 Ryzeal and 5 Snake Eyes making top 32. That's nuts. The current OCG metagame is defined by which deck has the strongest floor and not by the highest ceiling. Ryzeal fits perfectly into this paradigm. And Ryzeal only gives 2 draws to backseat or Mulch Army Fool Wars. The Exceed summon of Ryzeal Dreadnader itself, which is 2 to 3 disruptions, and also uses 1 card set up Ryzeal Dreadnader. The remaining 3 to 4 cards in hand could potentially be hand traps. Yeah. And you're going into this new format with the knowledge of looking at this. So to the TCG players out here, this will probably be our December meta. This is very important to have this knowledge now so you know what you're going to be looking at. But what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.